So, is this really the best foundation? Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe. My channel is about all things makeup and beauty related. I love makeup tutorials, all things beauty, makeup reviews, so be sure to subscribe. Today's video is a review of the new r.e.m Beauty by Ariana Grande, her makeup brand, and it's the Sweetener Foundation. I purchased this myself from Ulta. It was $35 and it came with a makeup sponge, which I got wet and it increased in size. It used to fit in this little box. So the makeup sponge was free with purchase, and I usually don't use beauty blenders to apply my foundation because I stopped using beauty blenders like 4 or 5 months ago and my skin rarely ever breaks out. So I'm pretty sure beauty blenders are the cause of my adult acne. So I'm going to use a flat top makeup brush. I usually use my r.e.m Morphe makeup brushes to apply foundation, but I wanted a fresh makeup brush for this demo and review. So I purchased this foundation myself from Ulta. They sell r.e.m cosmetics there. You get 30 milliliters, 1 fluid ounce. It's called a Sweetener Foundation. And I picked up the shade Fair NG. So there are 60 shades, which is very nice. You have a lot to choose from. I thought I picked a more tan foundation because I am going to be getting a spray tan and I'm going to Europe in 2 weeks. So I wanted to really find a foundation that I could use with my spray tan and one that's going to last me all day in Europe. But it is pretty fair. So this is what she looks like. Very sleek, unique packaging. I really like this. I think this would fit perfectly and amazingly in a makeup bag. It's perfect for travel because it's flat, so you can lay it in your makeup bag or sit it up. You know, it's not bulky and round. I mean, this NARS one's a pretty good packable size, but I just really like how packable the foundation bottle is. And it's unique, so it's eye-catching. It comes with a pump, and I want to say this is all plastic. This foggy part is not glass, it's plastic as well. This product is made in Italy, so that is very good. So for skin prep, I always wash my face, and in the morning I either put on my Innisfreeze Daily Sunscreen. This is SPF 36. I love this as a daily sunscreen underneath my makeup. But today, since I'm really just going to be doing a first impression demo, I really wanted to wear this foundation and try it out all day and give on a full-on review. But tomorrow I'll upload a short. Tomorrow I plan on doing things and leaving the house. I live in Florida, so I'll give it a really good wear and tear when I'm out in the sun and in my like hot car and everything. So I will upload a short and tell you how well this foundation holds up in the heat. But today I have on, it's a French moisturizer that everybody knows. This is a really good makeup base and my favorite moisturizer. I'm obsessed with this stuff. You can get on Amazon. I'll have it linked below. So I washed my face and I put on my moisturizer, and that is all that I have on my face right now. I'm not going to use any primers for my review because I'm really not a primer person, but also I feel like everyone's skins react differently with primers and foundations and everything. It's best to use a moisturizer that I trust and just wear the foundation that way and see how it does. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about this foundation. It is fueled by r.e.m Hydra Smooth Essence with raspberry leaf extract and hyaluronic acid. Infused with niacinamide, known to brighten, correct dullness, and reduce the look of pores. It's a natural matte finish, available in 60 shades. 100% of subjects experience improved hydration after 24 hours. Let's see, based on 4 weeks independent clinical study of 31 customers with daily use. It's waterproof, vegan, cruelty-free. And so my opinion about foundation is that there's a lot of really great foundations out there that are like $70, super high-end, beautiful foundations. But in my opinion, I rather spend my money on skincare and laser and Botox and things that are gonna actually help my skin. I have prescription retinoid that I use, and like those are things that I like to invest my money in because I'm actually helping my skin. And so I like that this foundation is only $35. I think that's a good price point for foundation. I am a drugstore foundation girly, but I was curious to try this foundation out. I do own high-end foundations like NARS and everything, and I enjoy them. But personally, I feel like the drugstore industry has done a really good job with foundation. So when I do reach for high-end foundations, I like the price point of like $50 to $30. I do not go above 50 because like I said, I invest my money in my skin. I will get laser, I will get Botox, I will do things that's actually gonna help my skin rather than spend $70, $60 on foundation that is just gonna be sitting on top of your skin and aging your skin, if you know what I mean. But based off the details about r.e.m Sweetener Foundation, it has some skincare infused into it, which really, like, it's not actually skincare, but you know what I'm saying, it helps something. So I like the price point of $35. You get a pretty good amount, 1 fluid ounce. It's made in Italy. You get a pump, and it is travel friendly. Like the packaging and the size of it and everything, it's not like bulky or anything. So I like those things about it. And so we're gonna jump right in. I think this shade's actually gonna match me because I was expecting it to be darker. So Fair 9NG is fair to light with neutral golden undertones. So there are 60 shades and I really like that selection. I picked one pretty I thought would be tanner. So there's tons of light shades, tons of dark shades, and that's really, really good. 2 pumps. So it looks like that. It feels like lotion. It's not mousse-like. Like if you can see the consistency there, it's kind of lotion-like, not mousse. A little bit runny, but it is on the thick side. So I like to take my finger and dot my foundation on my face. It helps me get like more of an even coverage, like even a product on my face, rather than just dipping my brush straight into it. And I definitely don't like pumping the foundation onto my skin directly unless I'm doing like a YouTube short or something. And so right away, like rubbing it off of my hand, like just like rubbing it on my hand, it feels very, very nice. It might be that hyaluronic acid that feels so nice, but like, wow, that feels great. Okay, so I have the foundation all over. Now I'm gonna take this fresh flat brush and just kind of like pat it and then like rub it. So this is definitely probably too late for me, which is usually not the case, but maybe it'll oxidize. Wow. So it's blending out very, very easy. Very easy. I think a brush is definitely the way to go with this because it's very like hydrating. I know it's supposed to be like a skin like matte finish, but it doesn't feel, it feels like lotion. Like look at that. Like if you just see how my brush is just gliding right over it. And so medium to buildable coverage. I don't think I would go over this with another layer. Wow, my face is like pale. Like this is definitely way too light for me. But like I said, it might oxidize. This would be a really good shade for my wife. My wife has very fair skin. But other than the shade, that blended out very nice. So it has to me a consistency of lotion, which is odd because it has like full coverage. Clearly, like my face is way lighter than my body. So I hope it oxidizes a little bit, but like coverage, lots and lots of coverage. So I'm gonna have to make this work because it does like match. I guess it matches me a little bit. I don't know, I feel like my chest and neck are still darker. Oops, got that all over my earring. But yeah, I'm really liking this. It feels so good on your skin. Really, it feels like lotion. And I've been kind of going over this with my brush a few times, like more than I usually would, but it's not like peeling up or anything. Definitely skin-like. I don't really see the matte, like, what is it? What kind of finish is it? I thought it said matte. Natural matte finish. I don't see the matte. That's really, I have oily skin combination. My nose gets really oily. The rest of my face is kind of like in between. It depends how like humid the day is. But I don't see the matte. I think it's more like a hydrating foundation. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my other makeup all sped up, and we'll see how this looks with powders and blushes and definitely some bronzer because I'm looking very ghostly right now. Okay. So again, this is just like so light for my skin, but I feel like you can see it. Like right there, it's just like a little bit like worn away. If you can see like that right there. And on my nose, it's like a little bit of patchy. My nose doesn't really do that with other foundations. It is very thin, which is odd because in the back of my hand it was so like thick. But now I can see where it's getting that like medium coverage because I feel like on my nose it just like looks makeup-y. And I use the one size translucent powder and a big fluffy brush. It's kind of how I always set my makeup, and then I use a puffer and my NARS light reflecting translucent powder underneath my eyes. Like I don't think, oh yeah, I did kind of, okay, so first I used the Beauty Blender for my concealer on top of the foundation. So I wouldn't even use a Beauty Blender with this foundation because I think that when I did that, it took up the foundation. If you can see here, like if you see here, I think when I used a Beauty Blender, it just kind of like ruined the foundation. So if you're gonna go with concealer on top of this foundation, use a concealer brush, which I usually always do, but because I had the Beauty Blender, I thought I would use it. So around my nose, like in these areas, I'm not dry usually. I don't know. It's it feels very thin. Like it feels like a lotion. It doesn't feel like there's coverage. The color is way too light for me. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't know what I was expecting. The reviews are so great. I was expecting it to be amazing. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. All right, guys, I'm going to show you a few things I've noticed while trying to do the rest of my makeup. I went in with my Revlon Color Stay concealer, and then I decided, oh, I have the Beauty Blender, like I'm just going to use it. But instead it broke up, if you can see, it broke up the foundation right here. So I don't recommend going in with a Beauty Blender to do your concealer with this foundation because it broke up underneath my eyes. And I have a little bit of like, I don't know, like patchiness here. Like my nose doesn't do that with other foundations. I mean, it's not terrible. I just noticed it's so breathable and like thin on the skin. So when you're going in with your powders, I always tap my powders like this. Be very, very careful and just keep make sure you pat your setting powder on top of the foundation. And now I'm a little curious if my bronzer, I'm gonna go with the Milani Sunlight Silky Matte Bronzer, if my bronzer is gonna like tear up the foundation because the way it reacted with the Beauty Blender and my concealer. Super breathable. Like I have powder right now. I always set my face with the One Size translucent powder. It's one of my favorites. But I also love the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop pressed translucent powder. But usually with the foundation, with any foundation and powder, I feel like I can feel it on my face. But with this one, I feel like I really can't feel it. Like my skin feels super breathable. So I think it's a very thin foundation. I can see that. Kind of maybe that's why it reacted the way it did around my nose and underneath my eyes. But we're gonna go in with bronzer and just see if the makeup breaks up anymore. I hope not. So I'm using an r.e.m. A 3.2, going in with Milani's Silky Bronzer. It's one of my favorite bronzers. And I'm going really light because I don't want this foundation to break up. But my other foundations, I usually can go in pretty hard and it doesn't break up my foundation, so. And I wanted to film an eyeshadow tutorial after this, and if it's looking so crazy underneath my eyes, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. So I'm applying this really, really light. And my skin is like very pale. So this foundation runs very light. Because I picked N9. What is this? N9 Neutral Golden, which is definitely not towards the lighter side of the foundation shades. I purchased mine online, but it's definitely like, I would say, a winter shade foundation for me. My wife could probably wear it. She's very fair, but I was hoping that I would be able to wear this every day. But I can always mix it in with other foundations, but so actually the bronzer is going on top of it. Very nice, very nice. So it didn't break up. I think it's just the Beauty Blender. So don't use a Beauty Blender with concealer when using this foundation. Be very careful if you're applying cream, blush, or bronzer, because you don't want the foundation to break up. I'm just gonna zoom you in here. If you can see, it did not break up on my forehead. And my cheeks, I don't think it broke it up either. So yay. Did not break up the foundation. Now I'm gonna go in with some Laura Mercier Peach Bellini blush. And I'm kind of just applying the brush like normal. I'm not being like super light with it or anything. And I don't notice any breakup and it's going on really nice. And I keep looking at myself in the mirror and my face is like godly pale. So definitely when ordering your foundation shade, like keep in mind that these shades run very light. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Essence highlighter, super affordable, gorgeous highlighter. Don't want this to break up the foundation. Thinking this is gonna have to be a winter shade for my wife because this is not working for me. It's so freaking light. It's so light. Whatever. All right, so I'm gonna do a little nose contour. We're gonna see if the foundation is gonna break up in my nose. I wanna do a little contour. I feel like, so my nose contour isn't really contouring because I feel like the foundation on my nose isn't like picking it up that nice. I don't know. My nose doesn't look like this when I usually contour it. It usually, I don't really know how I'm gonna fix the sides of my nose here that are like, do you see that? I'm not sure how I'm gonna fix that. I'm just gonna try and show it up close. Do you see how thin? I feel like you can kind of see on camera probably how thin of a foundation it really is. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Don't know. And like right here on my mouth, like right here, I feel like the foundation is worn away. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's like not, I don't think it's terrible. But I had really high hopes for this foundation. Definitely go darker. Definitely don't blend out your concealer with a beauty blender. Don't even use a beauty blender. Use brushes to apply, brushes for your concealer, brushes for any cream, bronzer, or blush. But be very cautious when applying cream on top of this, as I have a feeling this isn't going to hold up well with other cream products. My earring has foundation all over it. I don't know how I feel about this, honestly. I feel like I'm going to have to not give this a super amazing review. Like, it's not terrible. It would probably work really, really well on my wife's dry skin, but I'm scared that it will accentuate the dryness on her skin. It's very thin, which I don't know how it would wear in humidity and Florida weather. Also, the shade is 9NG, Neutral Golden, and it is so this is the shade Fair 9NG, and I feel like my face is so pale. Like, applying it, it felt pale. I feel very ghostly looking in the mirror. But I don't think it's a terrible foundation. But I don't think this is going to work for my skin type. I don't think it's going to work for someone who lives in Florida. Definitely probably won't wear very well under my mask because I'm a nurse and I wear a mask at work. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my eye makeup and I'll be back. Alright guys, here's a close-up with the r.e.m. Sweetener Foundation. So, things I like about this foundation. I like the packaging, I like the pump, I like the price point. I like that it feels like a lotion on my skin. It does have coverage and good ingredients, made in Italy. So, things I don't like about this foundation. This is in the shade Fair and Neutral Golden. I probably said that like 500 times, but it is pretty fair on me. I feel like it did oxidize a little bit, but if you're a very fair girl, you probably would love this foundation selection and shade. But for me, I feel like I would have to have gone darker to really get a good match for me. I feel like this would not hold up in humidity. It's advertised as waterproof, and I don't know if it really is waterproof. I applied a damp beauty blender, some concealer, and it broke up the foundation. So I don't know if I believe that part. Also, the natural finish semi-matte. I guess it is pretty matte when you set it with powder, but before I set it with powder, it was definitely more of a luminous foundation, I would say. What else do I like about it? I think it accentuated like my little dry patches that I didn't really know I had. I had to be really light-handed with powders on top of it because I didn't want the foundation to break up. It broke up a little bit down here and on my nose, and then my nose contour, I don't know, it just wasn't applied like normal because I think just the way the foundation sits. This reminds me of a tinted moisturizer foundation. It's not terrible, like it's not, but I was expecting it to be like a really good foundation for me and my skin, and just the way it was advertised and how amazing people were saying it's like the best foundation and everything. It's not a terrible foundation, but I guess I just had higher hopes for it. It's not that I don't recommend it because I will definitely be using this on my wife. She has very fair skin. But for me, living in Florida, a nurse who's going to be wearing a mask, I'm not sure if this is going to be a foundation that I would reach for that often. And definitely this is a winter shade for me. And it may work better in Florida winter weather than Florida August, September weather. But I like it. Like, it's not terrible. I do like it, but I think I just had really high hopes for it. So I'm a little disappointed. But I mean, it's not terrible. If you look at my makeup right now, like it's like I can go out like this. But it's definitely fairer than I anticipated. But I feel like it did darken up a little bit. Maybe it is oxidizing. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I want it to oxidize. But I would have to say I would give those 4 out of 5 stars. Um, Again, this is just a first impression demo. Like, clearly gonna learn from my mistakes. I'm not gonna use a beauty blender to blend out my concealer. Definitely not going to apply, I don't think this is a good foundation to apply cream products on top of, but my skin and my face right now, just like talking and moving, feels like there's nothing on it. Like literally like there's nothing on it. Like this is a very, very nice tinted moisturizer in my opinion. And I'm just gonna put a little pump on the back of my hand and just kind of show you. Like, see how it's not moussey? So it's not moussey, it's more lotiony. And I'm just going to blend this out for you. Like, look at that lotion. See how it's like rubs right off my fingers, very lotiony. It feels like a tinted moisturizer, honestly. So I would give this 4 out of 5 stars. So I'm not going to be taking this with me to Europe. I just don't think it's going to wear very well for the all-day walking, traveling adventures. But I think this might be a good winter foundation. It's not terrible. It's 4 out of 5 stars. To me, it's a tinted moisturizer. So the verdict for the Sweetener Foundation is 4 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to be taking this with me to Europe. It's a good foundation. I'm going to try it again in the winter. Definitely going to try it on my wife. It's definitely a winter shade. I just don't think it's going to hold up in the humidity in Florida. My wear and tear of my natural day, and I'm a nurse and I wear a mask, and yeah. So that completes this review. I may upload a short later of me wearing this foundation out in the Florida humidity and just seeing how it's holding up. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in my next video.